like I'm somebody that always pushes the idea of, you know, content, etc. Like upload YouTube, stream, if you want to have longevity, because one day comp is going to be there, and obviously the price pools have gotten lower and lower, and now it's like that basically. So how has that affected your mental? Have you noticed it's much harder to push out content than people think? You know, streaming and dealing with all these people, all these stream snipers. Like, take me through that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's tried to make content or made content in the past knows how difficult it is to make content and especially compete at the same time. Those two things are very hard to do at the same time if you want to take both of them seriously. It's almost impossible. It's so difficult. It's mentally draining. Making content is just insanely hard to do consistently, and especially YouTube. If you want to do YouTube videos that aren't just ripped off your stream VODs, that's a whole nother beast. Those are so hard to make on top of playing competitively, on top of streaming. It's impossible. I don't know how anybody could do that. I think it's literally impossible. So you need to basically just have competitive or just stream. And if you do both, then you're actually handicapping yourself on both fronts. If you pursue competitive and pursue streaming at the exact same time, you're handicapping yourself on both fronts, in my opinion.
Really? How's that?
If you stream every event and you're taking the event seriously, you're handicapping yourself in the competitive side. But
but how are you handicapping yourself on both? You're saying if you're doing that,
the streaming?
Yeah. How is that handicapping your streaming if you're streaming events?
I think you're saying it's handicapping your content creation.
Yeah, but how?
Like YouTube videos.
Like you don't have the time, and if you do have the time, you're sacrificing your mental health. Like you're not going to be able to make those YouTube videos or stream from. I mean, you'd have to be a literal demon to stream from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. past scrims. If you wanted to do that, if you wanted to play scrims and play tournaments,
and that's what I was doing. I wasn't placing top fucking 30, but at that time I was placing top 50 and everything, which was good enough to get the YouTube video, because the people that are placing top 10 aren't making YouTube videos, right? So people want to watch something. They got to watch the person who's placing top 50, the person who's got a personality, and the person who's uploading those YouTube videos, right? Like, I'd finish a 12-hour stream, I'd get off and I'd edit, and I'd put the fucking video to render while I'm sleeping, put an alarm for 2 hours, wake up, upload it. It's public now. I can go to fucking sleep for fucking 5 more hours.
I don't think he's saying it's impossible. I think he's just saying you're handicapping your any competitive advantage you would have.
Yeah.
And he's saying
I agree with that. Yeah. But he said you're handicapping both, which is what I'm confused about.
You are, because if you would pursue just content full time, it's probably better for you than taking competitive semi seriously. If you want to take both of them seriously at the same time, I feel like you're handicapping competitive because streaming directly affects your placements, and if you're focusing on competitive instead of just content full time, like by streaming and stuff like that, streamers don't get that many viewers unless your clicks are raw or people like that. So unless you have a big community, but they don't get as many viewers like Arena or stuff like that. So you're actively hurting yourself, in my opinion, if you just didn't play any of that and you just stream. I could be wrong. It depends on your content, but a lot of it's like really hard to do. Like it's really hard.
I agree with how streaming directly affects your placements. I don't think your placements direct, like if you do, I don't agree that like both of them
he's saying that the only way you can compete and upload to YouTube on a consistent basis would be if your YouTube videos are based off of your VODs. And he's saying that it's hard to create dedicated YouTube only content on top of competitive Fortnite. That's what he's saying.